Opaline Riverforge took her first breath on a muggy dawn, 4 July 1999, inside a clapboard cabin perched on stilts above the tea-brown waters of the Suwannee River, North Florida. Crickets still rasped under palmetto fronds when her mother, a Zydeco washboard virtuoso who keeps flattened magnolia petals in her gig case, rattled a lazy shuffle that made the porch bottles clink. Her father, a river mapping cartographer who sketches cloud herons on the backs of fuel receipts, leaned so near their freckles touched and promised his newborn that currents, gossip, and one-size shrinks all charts would always slide aside for anyone who grows to her full outline without apology. Curves wind through the Riverforge family tree like tannin water curling around cypress knees, so no one blinked when baby Opaline tore a second swaddle before the kettle whistled. Granny Della threaded a trot-line needle beneath every rip, patched a blanket with checkered fee-sack squares, and laughed that extra fabric costs pennies while training a child to shrink can cost her entire horizons. Elementary hallways smelled of pencil shavings, okra fritters from the cafeteria, and river mist sneaking under warped sash windows. Opaline already stood half a head taller than her classmates, shading the overhead projector whenever she parsed compound subjects. One drizzly recess, two boys hop-skipped circles around her, chanting tugboat. Anytime her rubber boots thudded the chalk grid, that twilight, she combed the boat ramp for bottle caps, polished satin by floodwater, threaded them onto fishing leader, stitched the tinkling line down the back of her sea green hoodie, and strolled into class at dawn, scattering prism freckles across the ceiling tiles. A substitute reading aid caught 7 shaky seconds on a prepaid flip phone, posted the shimmer to a fledgling video corner, and by lunch, 15,000 strangers applauded the girl who forged mockery into beacon light. Opaline wrote a vow in violet ink beside her subtraction drills. Clouds cluster only until you flash them bright enough to scat. Weekends belonged to White Springs, where her mother's washboard rhythms tangled with hissing catfish fryers, rope swings creaking over dark pools, and bluesmen trading licks on cracked porches. Her jeans quit halfway up Opaline's thighs, so she bartered tip jar coins for sun-bleached cast net, unraveled it into supple rope, crocheted high-rise culottes, misted river otter silhouettes with squid ink, and posed at persimmon sunset against rust-streaked pilings while her cousin snapped grainy photos. She funneled each shot into an online diary named River Lantern. During the same week, a swipe-happy photo app trickled across patchy tower service. Captions: skip from North Florida draw to plain truths like curves anchor current gusts steadier than seawalls. Before 16 candles glowed, she counted 53,000 unseen friends, double-tapping every ember frame, proof that bright screens hush cafeteria whispers faster than any coach's whistle. And a renewable energy scholarship hauled her west to Louisiana State. Daylight dissolved inside Wave Flume Labs. Nights belonged to a 24-hour jambalaya truck glowing neon coral beneath live oaks. The heat lamp turned into her soul softbox. Between an ooey orders, she filmed 90-second reels, folding deli parchment into swamp Irish barrettes, while decoding dart rotation in half-river hush, half-lecture pop. An upload layered swamp sparrow chirps on a lo-fi beat while she chain-stitched reflective anchor cord into thrift denim. 48 hours later, plays drifted past 1.2 million. Gulf Coast-style bloggers crown her the jambalaya couturier, though every sponsor email jammed at size 16. Opaline slid each pitch into a folder labeled Shrinking Nets, wiped cayenne from her cuff, and ladled another bowl. Hurricane season blew in an email from Columbia Sportswear inviting her to co-design a humidity-proof shell capsule called Delta Pulse. She answered with 3 rock-solid terms. Patterns must span hips up to 60 inches, half the crew hired from community college fashion programs, and 10% of net profit routed into Live Oak restoration along the Suwannee floodplain. Columbia, Sign Before Sunrise, silvered the lab skylight. Shoot day dawned on a cypress shelf where gray egrets etched white commas over mirror water. Opaline guided curvy paddleboarders through still reflections while a drone drew lazy 8s overhead. When the lookbook landed, every extended-size jacket vanished in 41 hours across 27 nations. River Lantern vaulted beyond 700,000 lights. Still dusted with powdered sugar from all-night beignets, she propped her phone on an ice chest, ducked behind flour sacks, and live-streamed tear-bright thanks amid buzzing fluorescence. first gentle nuds. If the swell of this story already lifts your ribs, tap subscribe now. One fingertip plants your deck chairs so the next river run glides into your feed ahead of the algorithm tide. Spotlight shimmer lured rumogators. A gossip vlog claimed Opaline taped carbon plates around her waist beneath those Columbia coats. At dawn, she paddled a cedar board beyond lily mats, balanced in sports bra and linen shorts, traced every stretch mark with crushed goldenrod dust, and rattled a washboard break so raw the herons waltz. 10 million viewers reposted the jam tag goldenrod proof, brushing yellow pollen across their own curves until gossip sank like lead sinker. Jambalaya wages applied with capsule royalties and churned into driftwood butter, a whipped custard blending Tupelo blossom butter, pecan shell oil, and mica sparks that shimmer pearl in foam flash. 19,000 tins cooled on her father's tackle bench, lids tied with braided trot line, each tag stamped "Moisturize your horizon." Inventory drained in 83 minutes, hoisting $197,000, 20% city beacon grants that deliver industrial surgers, and field sound kits to plus-size teens in River County schools from Valdosta to Venice, Louisiana. 8 months later, 36 grant winners staged a floating fashion and catfish blues review aboard a retro barge wrapped in LED Spanish moss, streaming live to sunrise anchors from Nairobi to Newark. New Orleans Fashion Week minted new La Vie lore when a backstage blower tore her emerald mesh gown from hip to hem with 90 seconds to curtain. Opaline yanked neon dock rope off a rig stand, laced the rip like boot hooks, and strode the runway as if the splice had lived in every sketch. Camera shutters cracked like skillet corn. Vogue Delta christened it Rope Cadence, and another million lantern Voyager surfaced before brass horns warmed the after-party air. The clouds churn again when a fired liaison leak trimmed emails hinting she demanded gator tail sliders and chauffeured airboats for her rescue river otter Pepperjack. She posted the full chain, refillable water urns, lentil stew for crew, caption screens for deaf stylists, then wired that month's affiliate stream $137,000 into biodegradable crab trap pilots along the Big Bend coast. Fans echoed her sandbar mantra, receipts glimmer brighter than rumor grit, until whispers drifted like fog under a noon sun. By midsummer, River Lantern shimmered with 6.9 million Instagram hearts, 3.4 million real Voyagers, and 2 million steady channel subscribers. Engagement, teasing 10% and forcing brand planners back to blank slides. Cartier invited her to headline a Topaz Surge vignette filmed inside St. Mark's Lighthouse. Lens, she agreed once Cartier funded therapy stipends for oysterbed tenders battered by record storms. The finished reel, her wrist scattering amber shards across iron ribs, became Cartier's most saved post that quarter. Her family keeps her keel true. Twice a month she streams Porchline Jam, Mom slaps washboard funk beside a propane griddle, Dad recites cloud haiku, and Opaline flips thrift denim beneath string lights. One session cracked 9 million when Pepperjack waddled through, powdered sugar and sneezed a glitter squall onto the mic. A wildlife refuge now sponsors every stream, tagging rehabilitated otters with solar beacons financed by driftwood butter. But in revenue rippled past 12 million before its second equinox. She leased a sleeping sawmill, punched skylights through corrugated tin, and hired furloughed deckhands plus design grads to whip custards and knot lids during midday dance breaks to Zydeco house loops. Efficiency gurus begged for heat shrink seals. She repeated her mother's wisdom, fingertips guard legends long after robots forget, and rope ties stayed. Her feed breathes mind weather candor. Cypress Ridge portraits sit beside jambalaya van selfies, captioned "Same sky, different weather." She shares breath loops recorded among river swells, printable resilience pages in English and Muskogee, and sliding scale therapy links. 134,000 followers name her shoreline honesty their first peaceful harbor. River rides sparkle under crushed shell paint. Hundreds paddle dust shallows wearing driftwood butter on shoulders and LED crawfish tassels on paddles. Ticket proceeds expand beacon grants and install wheelchair snorkel lifts at spring vents. Chowder shacks prolong hours. Gumbo bowls spike 15% on ride night. Opaline steers lead with Pepperjack plush strap foredeck, pausing to tighten any tourist loosened life vest. She is shaping a memoir titled Currents Keep Names for 11 Language Shelves next spring, while a documentary crew traces her dream to convert retired tide buoys into floating maker hubs for River Delta schools. Puma's Wide to Wave Lantern Sneaker Splash is next quarter, threaded with reflective rope and cushioned by algae foam, steering 10% of proceeds into beacon seedlings hugging the Gulf Arc. Second Shoreline, urging slide through the reeds. If your subscribe badge still beams red, cool it slate gray right now. One tap lands the next swell in your notifications before algorithm tides turn. Once playback hushes wander to the description. Waiting there, fresh driftwood butter jars, quick beacon grant portals, tonight's Porchline Jam playlist, and a quiet compass, a research-rooted kit of conversation sparks and calm confidence drills, tracing the clearest route to lasting love and the dependable way to help any woman you meet feel genuine intrigue. No gate, only one click. Wear up the soda-capped spine, rope cadence gown rescue, or pepper jack glitter sneeze lifted a grin, push that like heart, drop your brightest ripple in the comments, and share this voyage with a friend whose sails hang slack. Every curve redirects currents, every scar refracts moonlight, and the Swanee bends for anyone bold enough to stand wide in her channel. Softest breeze winds down. Subscribe now, claim your rail, peek at that love link in the description, and meet me on the next rising tide when another story glints beyond the breakers and courage calls your name again.